Hiking is usually seen as a peaceful way to relax, but hides a darker side where danger lurks at every step. The world's most perilous trails and death traps, disguised as breathtaking paths. Imagine teetering on narrow planks, clinging to cliffs thousands of feet above sharp rocks, or battling strong storms on isolated mountain passes, where one wrong move can be fatal. From the razor-sharp ridges of China's Mount HuaShan to the savage scrambles of South Africa's Drakensberg and Hawaii's merciless Kalalau Trail, these hikes are deadly tests of nerve and skill. Dare to face nature's wrath, only the fearless survive. Number 21. The Maze, Utah, USA. Utah's Canyonlands National Park is no ordinary hiking destination. It is a savage playground for the brave. And nowhere is this more true than in the infamous maze. This red rock labyrinth is a siren's call wrapped in danger, where every step could be your last. Towering cliffs loom overhead, threatening sudden rockfalls. Twisting trails lead to cruel dead ends, and the skies can unleash flash floods that transform this stunning landscape into a watery grave within minutes. The maze is so isolated and unforgiving that only the most hardened, or the most foolhardy, dare to enter. Few who venture inside ever find their way out unscathed. Last year, 7 hikers vanished beneath a brutal flash flood, swallowed by the canyon's wrath amid those blood-red walls. If you dream of conquering the maze, know this: it will test every instinct you have, and preparation is not just wise, it is essential for survival. The chilling tale of survival in this very landscape was immortalized in the movie 127 Hours. But beware, watching it before you go might plant a seed of dread that becomes all too real once you step into the maze's deadly embrace. Enter if you must, but remember, the maze does not forgive mistakes. Number 20. Kokoda Track, Papua New Guinea. The Kokoda Track is an extraordinary route, a narrow and treacherous passage stretching 96 kilometers, or 60 kilometers as the crow flies. It slices through the heart of Papua New Guinea's Owen Stanley Range. More than a mere trail, it is a corridor steeped in history, stained with the blood and sweat of those who fought there. In 1942, this unforgiving jungle became a fierce battleground between Japanese and Allied troops, primarily Australians, vying for control of what was then Australian territory. The echoes of gunfire, the cries of the wounded, and the relentless fight for survival linger in the dense foliage. Today, the Kokoda Track remains as perilous as it ever was. It is a severe test of endurance, where malaria lurks, the tropical heat drains strength by day, and freezing nights erode resolve. The unstable and slippery ground is merciless to the unprepared. Many have attempted this trek, but few have conquered it. Only the bravest dare to undertake this 11-day ordeal, where every step could be their last. Number 19. Longs Peak, Colorado, USA. Longs Peak isn't just a mountain, it's a merciless beast lurking in the heart of Rocky Mountain National Park. Outside Magazine calls it one of the world's most dangerous hikes, and for good reason. This 14,259-foot giant stands as a silent executioner, where every step can be a gamble with fate. Imagine this exposure to bone-chilling winds, the lurking threat of wild animals, the shadowy presence of guerrilla fighters, and the unforgiving heat that can sap your strength, all conspiring to turn a seemingly innocent trek into a deadly game. This is no ordinary walk in the wilderness. It's a flirtation with death itself. Longs Peak is Colorado's siren, drawing adventurers to its jagged summit, but it demands a steep price. Just this year alone, 3 souls have been claimed by its unforgiving slopes, including a young man from Broomfield, barely 25, who was swallowed by the mountain's wrath last month. Since 1921, the mountain has been a graveyard for 61 climbers. Death here wears many faces: sudden falls that shatter bones, avalanches that bury dreams, rock slides that crush hope, frostbite that steals flesh, exhaustion that drains will, and lightning strikes that ignite terror from the heavens. The mountain's notorious weather is a cruel mistress, shifting without warning to trap the unwary. To challenge Longs Peak is to stare into the abyss and dare it to blink first. It's a deadly dance on the edge of existence, where only the prepared survive and the rest become whispers on the wind. Number 18. Mount HuaShan, China. Perched precariously on the sheer cliffs of Mount Hua, the plank walk is no ordinary hike. It is a perilous gamble with fate. Imagine stepping onto narrow wooden planks, barely wider than a foot, bolted into the jagged face of a 7,000-foot drop. Below, the abyss yawns, waiting to swallow the unwary. Although hikers are strapped into harnesses, the terror is palpable, and the wind whispers cruelly, threatening to unbalance even the steeliest souls. Mount Hua, or HuaShan, rises near Huayin City in Shanxi Province. It is one of China's 5 great mountains, revered and feared for millennia. Known as Shiyue, the Western Mountain, it features 5 peaks: north, south, east, west, and central, once dotted with Taoist temples where monks sought enlightenment. Legend has it that Laozi himself preached here, lending the mountain an aura of sacred mystery. But this sanctity comes at a deadly price. The HuaShan Trail claims lives. Whispers speak of 100 souls lost each year to fatal falls, victims of the mountain's unforgiving grip. Today, thrill seekers and pilgrims alike brave the mountain's wrath, drawn by the promise of spiritual reward and the famed HuaShan tea house's pure mountain tea, brewed from snowmelt and spring water, a rare prize at the journey's end. Yet every step on those narrow planks is a brush with death, a test of nerve on the edge of the abyss. Will you dare to walk the line where heaven meets hell? Number 17, Devil's Path, New York, USA. The Devil's Path is no ordinary hike. It is a brutal gauntlet carved by the devil himself in the heart of New York's Catskill Mountains. Early settlers believed these jagged cliffs were forged by the devil to keep men out, a place so wild and merciless that only the devil could dare to tread it. Stretching 24 miles across 5 savage peaks, this trail demands that you claw your way up and down nearly 9,000 feet of elevation gain, often pulling yourself up sheer rock faces and slippery roots with nothing but your hands and grit. This is a trail where one false step can send you tumbling down deadly cliffs, where the rocks are slick with moss and ice, and where dehydration and exhaustion lurk in the shadows of the wilderness. The gaps between peaks are steep chasms that force you into near-vertical scrambles, testing every ounce of your strength and nerve. Most hikers dare only to conquer 1 or 2 summits in a day, but the truly fearless attempt the entire path in a single punishing push that can last 15 hours or more. Camping at the state-owned Devil's Tombstone Campground offers a brief respite, but the trail's relentless challenges do not ease. The Devil's Path is a brutal dance with nature's most unforgiving elements, where mental fortitude is as vital as physical stamina, and where the haunting name serves as a grim warning. This path is no place for the faint of heart. Number 16, Huayna Machu Picchu, Peru. Hiking to Machu Picchu is an awe-inspiring accomplishment in itself. But for those who dare to venture beyond the ancient city and ascend the steep cliffs of Huayna Picchu, a far greater challenge awaits. Often referred to as the Hike of Death, this perilous climb claims several lives each year. Yet adventurers are drawn to it by the promise of an extraordinary reward, a bird's-eye view of the legendary Inca citadel. Huayna Picchu rises sharply to the north of Machu Picchu, its peak shrouded in clouds and mystery. Centuries ago, the Incas carved narrow trails into its rock face and constructed a hidden temple, known as the Great Cavern, within its heights. From the summit, the entire Inca city unfolds in breathtaking detail. While the mountain itself may not pose an inherent danger, the climb certainly does. Caution is essential when navigating treacherous sections, like the infamous Stairs of Death, or the path leading to the eerie Temple of the Moon. Furthermore, the high altitude, over 2,700 meters above sea level, can trigger altitude sickness, particularly in older adults or individuals with heart conditions. This is no ordinary hike. Huayna Picchu tests not only your endurance, but your courage. It is a journey that demands respect, and one that only the truly brave should attempt. Number 15, Darien Gap, Panama, Colombia. Every year, hundreds of thousands of desperate souls from Haiti, Venezuela, and beyond risk everything to cross the Darien Gap, a forbidding stretch of wilderness that is one of the deadliest migration routes on Earth. This is no ordinary journey. The Darien Gap, a brutal expanse of over 60 miles of impenetrable rainforest, jagged mountains, and sprawling swamps, forms the only land bridge between South and Central America. In this region, the jungle teems with danger. There are no roads or safe paths, only nature's raw fury and the lurking shadows of human menace. Migrants, driven by hope and desperation, step into this wild unknown, where every step could be their last. The thick canopy conceals venomous creatures, deadly diseases, and the ever-present threat of violent criminal gangs that prey on the vulnerable. As governments tighten controls on air and sea routes, this treacherous corridor has become the grim gateway for those pursuing the dream of safety and a better life in the United States. But the Darien Gap does not forgive. It is a gauntlet of death and despair, where the jungle itself seems to conspire against those who dare to cross it. For many, the journey ends not with freedom, but in tragedy. Number 14. Kalalau, Hawaii. At first glance, this excursion appears to be a stroll through paradise. Lush greenery, breathtaking vistas, and the whisper of untouched wilderness. But don't be deceived by the beauty that surrounds you. Beneath the serene surface lies a trail fraught with deadly dangers. 3 mighty rivers stand between you and your destination, each requiring a treacherous crossing, not once but twice, both on the way there and back. These rivers are unpredictable beasts. A sudden rise in water levels can trap you deep in the jungle, forcing you to spend a night, or more, alone in the shadows of the wild. When the rains arrive, they don't merely soak the land, they transform the rivers into raging torrents. Rocks, slick with moss, become perilous stepping stones, and the swift currents show no mercy. One misstep, one slip, and the water will drag you down into its cold, unforgiving grip. Many who fall never rise again. In 2014, the Kauai Fire Department faced a nightmare when heavy rains unleashed chaos. Over 2 harrowing days, they battled the elements to rescue 121 stranded hikers, souls caught in the deadly embrace of nature's fury. This is not a trail for the faint-hearted. It is a dance with danger, where paradise and peril walk hand in hand. Number 13, Mist Trail, Yosemite National Park, California. The Mist Trail, don't be fooled by its name or the fact that it lies within a park. This is no leisurely stroll. It is a perilous journey that has claimed the lives of over 60 people. Nestled within Yosemite National Park's half-dome area, the trail tempts adventurers with breathtaking waterfalls, whose cascading waters shroud the path in a relentless, chilling mist. But that mist is a merciless harbinger of danger. The stones beneath your feet become slick and treacherous, making each step a gamble with fate. One misstep, one slip, and the abyss below waits hungrily. The steepest sections are protected only by weathered cables, fragile lifelines clinging to the rock face. They offer a fleeting sense of security, especially when dark storm clouds gather overhead. When lightning rips through the sky, the mountain becomes a deadly trap. Wet cables transform into conduits of death, leaving nowhere to hide from the electric fury. The Mist Trail is not just a hike, it is a dance with danger, where nature's beauty masks a lethal threat at every turn. Dare to walk it, and you may find yourself caught in its unforgiving grip. Number 12. The Maroon Bells, South Ridge, Colorado, USA. The Maroon Bells stand as haunting sentinels over Aspen, Colorado, towering, unforgiving, and legendary. Among them, Maroon Peak beckons with a siren's call, its majestic beauty concealing a sinister truth. This is no ordinary climb. The journey to its summit is a brutal test of will and skill, a perilous dance with death. Though the trail stretches only 11 miles, the terrain is a merciless gauntlet. Steep inclines claw at every step, while Class 3 climbing forces you to cling desperately to jagged rocks. The ridge itself is a treacherous maze of loose, crumbling stone. One wrong move could send you plummeting into the abyss below. Each year, Maroon Peak and its deadly twin, North Maroon Peak, rival Longs Peak as Colorado's most lethal 14ers, claiming the lives of those who underestimate their wrath. Yet despite its danger, the mountain's savage beauty is intoxicating. It's a gamble with fate, a heart-pounding adventure that etches itself into your soul. We survived the dicey climb, and it remains one of our most unforgettable and chilling hiking tales to date. Number 11. El Caminito del Rey, Spain. This was never meant to be a tourist attraction. Built in 1905, the narrow path clinging to the cliffs between Gaitanejo Falls and Coro Falls was constructed for hydroelectric workers who needed no comfort, only a way to survive the heights. Today, only fragments of the original trail remain. In some places, the path vanishes completely, leaving rusted iron beams jutting out over the void. To continue, you don't walk, you leap. One wrong move, and the drop will claim you. In 2000, the trail earned its deadly reputation when 4 people fell to their deaths. The Spanish government closed it, declaring the area off-limits, but the warnings only added fuel to the fire. Adventurers kept coming, drawn by the danger, undeterred by the risk. Eventually, the government responded, not by keeping people out, but by rebuilding the trail. It was reinforced and reopened, made more accessible for tourists. It's not as dangerous as it once was, but make no mistake, the spirit of the old path is still there, etched into the cliffs and echoing in the wind. It's not just a hike, it's a brush with the past and a flirtation with danger. And yes, it's absolutely worth the risk. Number 10. Rover's Run Trail, Alaska. Forget the biting wind and the treacherous slopes at Rover's Run. Those are the least of your worries. It ain't here. Danger lurks not in the elements, but in the shadows of a river teeming with salmon. And it is not a master sushi chef you need to fear. This is a stronghold for grizzly and black bears, drawn by the river's bounty. However, they are not the only predators stalking these trails. Whispers and increasingly screams tell of charging moose, their fury unleashed without warning. Therefore, when you step onto this trail, understand this: your snacks are a death sentence. Keep your eyes wide open, or you will become nothing more than a statistic in the wild, unforgiving ledger of Rover's Run. Number 9. Cascade Saddle, New Zealand. Deep within the forbidding wilds of Mount Aspiring National Park on New Zealand's South Island lies Cascade Saddle, a place of breathtaking beauty and lethal danger. This is no ordinary hike. The mountain's slippery rocks and unpredictable weather have claimed lives, turning adventurers into tragic tales whispered by the wind. The Department of Conservation issues a stark warning. This route is not for the faint-hearted or inexperienced. Only those equipped with expert navigation skills and hardened by backcountry survival should dare to tread here. Even then, when the mountain's mood darkens and the path becomes a perilous maze, the wise know when to retreat before the mountain claims another victim. Over 2 grueling days, trekkers face wild scrambles, jagged rocky outcrops, and treacherous tussock grass that can twist an ankle in an instant. Shelter is scarce, with only rugged mountain huts or the cold, unforgiving night to rest. But for those who survive, the prize is a haunting panorama of snow-capped peaks, dominated by the majestic Mount Aspiring, Tititea to the Maori, a silent sentinel watching over a landscape where beauty and danger walk hand in hand. Here, every step could be your last, and every visit a reminder that nature's grandeur comes at a deadly price. Number 8. Striding Edge, Lake District, England. The Lake District's weather is a treacherous beast, ever-shifting, unpredictable, and ready to turn a peaceful walk into a desperate fight for survival. Yet no place embodies this danger quite like Striding Edge, the razor-sharp arête that claws its way to the summit of Helvellyn, the 3rd highest peak in the Lake District National Park. This is no ordinary trail. Alongside the ridge, safer paths whisper promises of security. But the true daredevils know the real test lies on the narrow spine itself, where a single misstep can mean a deadly plunge. On rare, clear days, the horizon unfolds into a breathtaking panorama, stretching all the way to the distant hills of Scotland. Yet such beauty conceals the peril beneath. Striding Edge demands more than courage. It requires skill. Only those hardened by experience should attempt the scramble, the final heart-stopping climb to the peak. When the clouds descend, swallowing the path in suffocating fog, navigation becomes a battle against the void. In winter, this ridge transforms into a frozen gauntlet. Ice and snow turn every step into a gamble with death. Preparation is your only shield, And knowing when to retreat is the difference between life and a fatal fall. Striding Edge is not just a hike. It is a deadly dance with nature's most unforgiving elements. Are you ready to face the edge? Number 7. Giro del Sorapis, Italy. Deep within the jagged spires of the Dolomites lies a terrifying legacy carved in steel and stone. These are the Via Ferrata, literally ways of iron. Metal rungs and cables hammered mercilessly into the sheer limestone cliffs during the brutal battles of World War I. Here, Italian and Austrian soldiers fought tooth and nail, clinging to these vertical walls as if their lives depended on it, because they did. Today, these same iron paths beckon only the bravest thrill-seekers. Each step is a gamble with gravity, where a single misstep could send you plummeting into the abyss below. The air is thin, the rock unforgiving, and the exposure heart-stopping. The ultimate test is the Giro del Sorapis. Starting from Refugio Vandelli, this route drags you high above the valley floor, scrambling along sheer cliffs and threading through 3 separate Via Ferrata routes. You'll be tethered to steel cables with a harness and helmet, but even that thin lifeline cannot erase the primal fear gnawing at your mind. Without a seasoned guide to lead the way and manage your gear, you are nothing more than a fool courting disaster on these iron paths. Reminders of a war where courage and death danced on the edge of a knife. Will you dare to walk where soldiers once fought for their lives, suspended between earth and sky? Number 6. Daikiretto Traverse, Japan. The Northern Alps of Japan are no playground. They form a brutal arena where only the bold dare to tread. Among these towering giants, the Daikiretto Traverse stands as the ultimate challenge. A razor-thin ridge slicing through the sky with sheer drops of over 300 feet on either side. This is no mere hike. It is a heart-stopping dance with death, where a single misstep can mean plummeting into the abyss below. Though the traverse stretches less than 2 miles, it can take hours to complete, with each step testing both nerve and skill. Chains and ladders cling to the jagged rock faces, serving as your only lifelines as you claw your way across the knife-edge ridge. Hands grip cold iron, while feet find precarious holds on crumbling stone. The wind howls, threatening to unbalance you as the void yawns beneath. This journey is not for the faint-hearted or the unprepared. A high level of fitness and an unshakable head for heights are essential. Helmets and gloves are more than mere gear. They are shields against the mountain's unforgiving temperament. Attempting the Daikiretto alone, especially in the icy grip of winter, is courting disaster. Many have fallen here, some have never returned. For those who survive, the reward is a breathtaking panorama that few will ever witness, a brutal beauty carved in stone and sky. But make no mistake, the Daikiretto is a deadly siren, alluring yet merciless. Only the fearless should answer its call. Number 5. Drakensberg Grand Traverse, South Africa and Lesotho. Multi-day hikes are no mere strolls. They are brutal tests of endurance where nature's fury lies in wait. The Drakensberg Grand Traverse is a savage beast of a journey. 230 kilometers, 143 miles of relentless terrain that can swallow the unprepared whole. It begins with a heart-stopping ascent up rusted chain ladders clinging to the sheer Drakensberg escarpment, then drags you across the border into the wilds of Lesotho before pulling you back into South Africa's unforgiving wilderness. This isn't a trail, it's a ghost, a concept etched on maps but invisible underfoot. Hikers brave enough to face it alone must carry every ounce of their survival gear. GPS, every KZN wildlife map, and enough food and water to stave off starvation and dehydration for up to 2 brutal weeks. The weather is a merciless enemy. Spring and fall are your only allies, for summer's thick, tangled grass will trap your every step, and winter's biting cold can freeze your very soul. One misstep here, one miscalculation, and you could vanish into the mountain's deadly embrace, forever lost to the shadows. Mount Washington, New Hampshire, United States. Mount Washington is no ordinary mountain. It is a brutal beast, infamous as the home of the world's worst weather, a title earned through blood and bone by the Mount Washington Observatory. Imagine standing at its summit in January 2004, where the air itself turned to ice at a soul-crushing -47 degrees Fahrenheit, -44 degrees Celsius. But the cold is only the beginning. In 1934, the mountain unleashed a windstorm so fierce that it shattered records with a terrifying 231 miles per hour, 372 kilometers per hour. Gust, the fastest wind ever recorded on land, a force of nature capable of ripping flesh from bone, only narrowly surpassed decades later in Australia. This is a place where the weather doesn't just change, it turns on you without warning, a merciless predator lurking behind every cloud. Hikers who dare approach must be warriors, armed with winter gear even when the sun blazes high in summer. One wrong step, one forgotten layer, and the mountain will claim you. The climb itself is a relentless trial. Only those in peak physical condition should consider the ascent on foot. Sure, the cog railway or a drive might get you to the top, but the true challenge, the one that tests your very will to survive, demands that you lace up your boots, shoulder your pack, and face the mountain's wrath head-on. Mount Washington does not forgive weakness. It waits, patient and deadly, ready to turn your adventure into a nightmare. Number 3. Wendenstock, Switzerland. Imagine a mountainside so steep that it seems to defy gravity itself. Now cloak it in slick, wet grass that turns every step into a gamble with death. This is no ordinary hike. It is a perilous dance with the abyss. A death-defying ordeal shaped by the merciless Swiss peaks. Only the most reckless souls dare to tread here, and those who survive call it the most hair-raising, pulse-pounding nightmare they have ever faced on foot. If you are foolish enough to consider this path, heed this warning. Steel-toed boots with cleats are not just recommended, they are your only hope against a fatal slip. And as if that were not enough, the sheer cliffs of Wendenstock loom nearby, offering some of the most brutal and technical rock climbing on the planet. Attempt those only after you have exhausted every other challenge, and even then prepare to confront your own mortality. Number 2. Nankoweap Trail, Arizona, USA. Deep within the heart of the Grand Canyon lies a path whispered about in fearful tones, the Nankoweap Trail. This is no ordinary hike. It is a gauntlet of terror etched into the cliffs, where one misstep can mean a plunge into the abyss. Known far and wide as the most perilous and spine-chilling trail in the canyon, it demands respect, skill, and nerves of steel. The Grand Canyon offers many trails, but none match the lethal reputation of Nankoweap. It is unmaintained, wild, and unforgiving. Here, sheer drop-offs loom like silent predators, and narrow ledges barely wide enough to tread snake along dizzying heights. The trail's exposure leaves hikers vulnerable to the wrath of gravity. No signs guide the way, only the brave or the foolhardy dare to venture here. According to the National Park Service, this trail boasts the most staggering rim-to-rim descent in the entire park. A brutal 5,640 feet, 1,735 meters of vertical terror. It stretches long and relentless, testing every ounce of a hiker's endurance and skill. The warnings are clear. This is no place for the inexperienced, the lone wanderer, or those unfamiliar with the deadly art of canyon navigation. Water is scarce, the sun merciless, and the cliffs unforgiving. One slip, one moment of hesitation, and the fall could be fatal. Hundreds of feet of jagged rock waiting below. The Nankoweap Trail is not just a hike, it is a deadly challenge that has claimed many. Only the prepared, the fearless, and the skills should dare to face this canyon's darkest path. Number 1. Angel's Landing, Zion National Park, Utah. This trail is a cruel mistress, a wickedly narrow path carved into the very bones of the earth, reserved only for the bravest or the most foolhardy. For 5 miles, the path tempts you with its deceptive calm, being well-maintained and even paved in places, lulling you into a false sense of security. But then comes the final half-mile, a heart-stopping ascent of over 1,400 feet along a treacherous, slick spine of sandstone. On either side, the earth plunges away into dizzying drops of hundreds of feet, a sheer abyss waiting to swallow the unwary. One seasoned hiker, voice trembling, confessed, "It scared the hell out of me." This is no ordinary trail. It is a gauntlet of nature's most unforgiving edges, where one misstep could mean a deadly fall.